I call Sue Moroney.
Oh, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I think that last speech just personifies the struggle that the National Party are having, trying to justify why they think it's okay for people working hard in New Zealand to be paid below the minimum wage, because that's in fact what the National Party is arguing here in this Parliament, that they have such a strong future in mind for this country, that their brighter future actually involves people being paid less than the minimum wage for working hard in this country. Well, that's not the vision that we have on this side of the House. We actually want people to be paid well. We want to improve wages. We want people to have decent living standards, and that's what this bill is all about. So I want to congratulate the Honourable David Parker for bringing it in front of the House, but I also want to commend former colleague Darian Fenton, who was absolutely passionate about this, was the original drafter of this bill, and if that party opposite, if the National Party is trying to pretend that they want to fix this issue but they just haven't thought of the right way to do it yet, they've had many years to think about how to do that, because this bill has in fact been before the Parliament before. So no one is going to believe that bit of nonsense from the National Party. Mr Speaker, I want to agree with Labour leader Andrew Little when he said earlier in this debate that we are after the road to prosperity, not the race to the bottom that the National Party seems intent on taking this country down. They were trying to pretend that this is about a question of choice. Mr Speaker, what choice is there in someone working hard and being able to be paid less than the minimum wage? Because that's what the National Party is arguing for. That's what they're arguing for. And that's the very reason the Labour Party has put this bill before the House, because as it stands right now in New Zealand, it is legal to pay an independent contractor, a self-employed person, below the minimum wage. And in this day and age, in 2016, in Aotearoa, New Zealand, that is morally and ethically wrong. The fact that the law books allow this to happen under a national government is ethically and morally wrong. Mr Speaker, 40% of the children living in poverty in New Zealand are actually living in families where there is a parent in paid employment. I'll say that again because it's a national disgrace. 40% of the children living in poverty in New Zealand, their parent actually goes out and works hard and tries to earn a decent living. But it is because of the attitude of the National Party that those parents often can't make enough money to actually ensure that they are paying the rent, that they are putting decent food on the table for the children, that they're going to school with a pair of shoes on their feet, that they're going in these cold temperatures that we're suffering right now in New Zealand with a warm coat. These are the effects of that government and their inability to actually address issues like the one we are putting in front of this Parliament this afternoon. And so what are we asking for? We're not asking for a lot. It's the fact that anyone who may be employed as an independent contractor has the right, as every other worker does in New Zealand, to be paid the minimum wage. The audacity of the National Party to argue that this would be far too onerous because it might require that employers have to understand and know the hours those people are working is just an outrage. Mr Speaker, it's not that long ago that that same party passed a piece of legislation to improve health and safety in this country, and I say good on them. But for goodness sake, if they think it's okay that employers can pay people a paltry amount without understanding the number of hours they are going to have to work to earn that paltry amount, then they have no understanding of the issues that drive bad health and safety practices in this country either. They talked about piece rates, and I want to say that the piece rates that are paid in the forestry industry are probably one of the main drivers of bad health and safety in that sector. That's right, Ms Goodhue. Don't raise your eyebrows and look like it's the first time you've heard it, because you'll know all about it. The fact that people have to chop down X
I'm sorry
number
to
of
interrupt
trees-
the member. Unfortunately,
I'll be
time
coming
has come
back.
to adjourn the House for the meal break. The House will resume at
I'll be back.
7:30.